Hello, guys. Welcome back to Afro Rooted, your African football podcast. And I'm here today with EU, and we're going to be discussing Chris Hughton and his new appointment as head coach of none other than the Black Stars of Ghana. How do you feel about this news that just break through, man?
Yo, big man Chris is the right man for the job. Ex-Newcastle manager, Birmingham manager, Norwich manager, Brighton manager, bro. And what I didn't know, Nottingham Forest manager. He's exactly the right fit at the right time, honestly. And then the fact that he played a role in the Ghana national team right before the World Cup, being as a technical advisor, dude. I think it's a sick appointment. I think it's the perfect timing for it, with AFCON on the horizon. So. Dude. I'm excited to see what he can do.
100%, man. I think the great point you brought up is him being the technical advisor, right? So which makes it such a unique a point of view to kind of look at the team for, because he served in that role for about a year. And he basically helped or assisted Otto Addo in his preparation for the World Cup in terms of selecting players, even convincing people like Iñaki Williams and Tariq Lamptey, last minute people that joined fairly recently. And I feel like the fact that he saw it from a point of view of where he could kind of soak in the culture of Ghana, because he was not day to day on the field, right, coaching these players.
He kind of got a bird's eye view of everything.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I feel like that's what kind of makes him a little bit different. And maybe, do you think this was by accident, or do you think this was actually the plan all along and we just didn't know about it? What's your insight on that?
Good question, because that's what I was talking to you about right before this. Because, dude, I don't know. It just looks, it looks exactly like the right timing, right? Because he comes out of, he stopped managing Nottingham Forest in 2021, and then he takes over this role in 2023. So, or 2022, sorry. So he had some time off, and then he gets appointed as Ghana technical assistant, right? And then I think the Ghanaian FA knew that Otto Addo had his sights on joining Borussia Dortmund, because he has a German background. He was born in Germany, and he's already managed on a youth level at different teams. And he played a role as an assistant manager when they had a temporary manager at one of the teams in Germany. Caretaker. Yeah, he was promoted to a first team manager at that time in that transition period. Otto Addo was, and then so just having Chris Hughton playing that technical director role, I think was part of the larger plan for him to take over, and it makes a lot of sense now, because in a recent interview that you actually sent me the link for, he was talking about how being that technical advisor, he gets access. He's been given access to or recommended more second generation and third generation talent, as well as diving more.
He said that same interview, I think he said now he watches the Ghanaian Premier League.
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? Even the fact that he's doing that, he's seen that for a year, he knows what they're about, man. So I feel he'll address a lot of those issues of where we do see second generation talent coming in, and that's a good thing. Tariq Lamptey, you get big name players that are already making noise in Europe. But I feel this is a touchy subject. We were even discussing about this before the podcast, right? Saying how people from Ghana want somebody that represents them. So homegrown talent is something that's always brought up, right? That's why we love to see people like Suleimana, Mohamed Kudus, who were born and bred in Ghana with a Ghanaian academy, Right to Dream, that's an academy we always mention. But you have these homegrown players that have made it in Europe, So I feel the fact that he'll be the right person to kind of address that, and he's at a better position now to kind of address those issues because he's experienced it, right? Or he's, gotten time to soak in the culture and everything, So maybe it's the perfect timing is what I could say, right? Right a year before the AFCON.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect timing.
Yeah, it's something that I didn't really realize because like all of Ethiopia's national team is homegrown, but it is a touchy subject because everyone supports their homegrown talent a little bit more, that little extra bit. So I didn't realize how much of a touchy subject it was, but I think it's nice to have a manager like him who knows both sides of it. Because I didn't realize this about him, that he has Ghanaian heritage. His dad is Ghanaian, and he says in that interview, he's like, every time the Ghanaian national team was playing as I was growing up, or playing as a professional, like he was rooting for Ghana. So he has that connection as a second generation player.
Whenever Ghana played, and particularly whenever Ghana played in the big games, then I was always there, in my mind, always there supporting and absolutely hoping that the team would do well.
Now he gets to access that part of, like, he knows the deep inner thoughts of, that second generation talent. Maybe like Eddie Nketiah, who might not exactly get there are a lot of strikers ahead of him probably in the list. He is performing well now for Arsenal, but like the Harry Kanes and the Callum Wilsons and Ollie Watkins, and there are like names that he is competing with that I think the path for him in the Ghanaian national team probably makes a bit more sense for his career. So it's something to think about. And I think the nice thing is that there is a balance of that homegrown talent, because as you said, Ghana does have a good pathway and good academies that breed good talent, right? So probably something that Ethiopia doesn't have.
To add to your comment on how Chris Hughton has roots within Ghana. And we know that he played for Ireland in his playing career, but also I think what makes it interesting for, coaches, especially that have roots within, these African nations, it's almost like a second chance he didn't get the chance to play for Ghana. Maybe this is his way now of contributing to the Ghanaian national team. So it makes it a special connection. It's not just, he's not just here for a payday. So he didn't get to do it as a player, but he gets to do it as a manager now. He didn't get to play for the team, but now he's playing a role within the Ghanaian national team. So it's also maybe that special, it kind of adds to the team, right? The way you feel about it, and even him, instead of, I feel like that will hold a lot of weight, especially in terms of bringing in team spirit or management. It's like that, the fact that, okay, I didn't get to do it as a player, but now I get to do it as a manager. I'm a part of this, I feel
dude, I think he is the right fit as well in terms of manager profile, because he has that background of managing Premier League teams, and there are a lot of players that are either Premier League players or the potential to be in the Premier League. Like Kudus is linked to the top clubs in the world right now, and then there's Tarek Lamptey, Mohamed Salisu, Kamaldeen Sulemana, who are all part of the Premier League right now. So having that, I think, gives him an edge over other managers, where he actually has, I think he'll have the authority and the management to actually bring people together and bring the different players from different backgrounds. So even if they do incorporate more second generation talent, he can actually integrate them well into the Ghanaian national team setup and achieve something together.
Like you said, though, I think one of the main things as well is credit to Otto Addo as well, is he has something to build from, right? I feel like that's something we could all agree on. And the fact that when Otto Addo left, and at least the general public, we didn't know if who was going to be appointed. There was a level of uncertainties, they just showed us hope, and where's this going to go, And I feel like that this appointment will address that. And the fact that he's building on something is
question
what
for
makes
you.
this great,
Quick question.
Yeah.
Was Ghana's performance in the World Cup a success or a failure? If you're gonna talk about it in binary terms.
Okay, so man, I don't think it's a simple yes or no, or is it successful or not. It depends on how you look at it. If you look at it from a point of view of did they get to the next round or whatever, then obviously they didn't make it, right?
They didn't live up to expectations, probably.
But for what they're building, for the future, it is a success and it's a step in the right direction. Because imagine, like, even the way they went out, like, they created a lot of excitement, right?
Yeah.
They went toe-to-toe against Portugal.
Exactly.
They went toe-to-toe. They won against South Korea.
It was a tough group, to be honest.
I think
it was one of the
group.
tougher groups, in the World Cup.
But they showed us excitement, right? Like, everybody was excited about Ghana, man. Like, even if they didn't make it through, like, they got the 3 points they needed. But one thing that that the Ghanaian national team lacked, and that I think Chris Hughton can address and is the right man to address, is their defensive abilities. Like, they really lacked organization in terms of defense. Like, they did have, like, quality players individually, like Salisu and Amarte, but, like, that organization wasn't there, you know? And Chris Hughton is known for coaching teams like Brighton in the Premier League, you know, in his time in the Premier League, he might not have won the Premier League, but he was known to have the sort of, like, you know, defensively organized team. And that's something that he can bring to Ghana. That's going to take him to the next level, because offensively we can see what they can do. Like, you know, we saw Mohamed Kudus with it. You know, yes, Iñaki Williams, we could see a little bit more from him, but, you know, I feel like it's too early to judge him. But there's a lot of potential there. Even if you add in Nketiah and Hudson-Odoi, like, you know, the conversation gets bigger now.
There's a core group of young talent that he can access, and if he brings the best out of them, and like, bro, being part of the Brighton setup is what gives me all the confidence.
Like, he needs to get the best out of Partey, like, because, like, Partey, I feel like
Partey will bring the best out of him.
Has the potential to be like the engine of the team. Partey
is the engine of every team. The best midfielder in the world.
Him and Kudus in the midfield
killed it.
At their best.
Yeah. No, honestly, he does have the players there. It's just about can you find the right system. I think there's a cool episode of him breaking down his tactics on the Coach's Voice. If anyone wants to check it out, I'll put it right here.
It's who he played Manu in that episode. Right?
Yeah.
I like how you chose that specific episode,
bro. No, honestly,
it's all good.
No, what I like about him is how eloquent he is, though. I think, like, I don't know, something about the way he speaks, like, he actually really breaks down his ideas and thoughts really clearly, and that's something that you see in some of the best coaches. And on top of that, we've already seen him bring the best out of young talent and underrated talent maybe with Brighton, and some of the players that he was coaching at his time are still like doing the business now when they're competing for European spots. Can you imagine? So, like, I think all the confidence should be in him, and it's really exciting to see how far he can take them. Because
with that being said, like, where is prediction now? You know, fast forward, we're in 2024. Ghana is in the AFCON. Where does Ghana end up?
How far did they go last AFCON? Blanking.
Hey, last AFCON, it was a bad one, man. Group stage out for both them and Algeria.
Mad. Oh, yeah. And people had
worse than that.
People had the audacity to come and talk to me when I was saying Algeria wasn't in the top 3 teams in Africa. Man.
I know, I saw that, man.
Bro, crazy. I'm not going to talk bad. I'm not going to talk bad about Algeria. I love Algeria. My brothers.
They're good too.
Yeah, they are. No, they have a good team on paper, to be honest with you. It's just about timing.
Yeah.
But for Ghana, I think... they'll definitely go past the group stage. I think it's going to be a building. I think it's a project type of job now, because a lot of the talent that he has are really young. I'm not even going to pull it up actually, but like Kamaldeen Sulemana, I think he's 20 years old. Kudus is 22. Partey is a bit getting on, but like Salisu, Baba Rahman is still pretty young. Tariq Lamptey is really young. And then if they bring in like Hudson-Odoi and Nketiah as they're planning to, then they have a good balance of like experienced talent and young talent. And if they can phase out some of the older players who have been getting on and kind of slowing down, dude, they could get really far. But my prediction, quarterfinals. It is still a tough competition.
But that's a safe prediction. That's good.
It is safe. Yeah. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
But I think World Cup is the one that actually is going to be interesting.
Quarterfinals is actually like we expect them to be there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, like, a success for them would be if they, first of all, it depends who they play in the quarters, right? Like if they play against the winners of the whole thing, then I guess that's fine. But I feel like for me, like for them to make a statement, they need to have they need to have a good performance, right? Like they need to show us like what they're about, like play a certain style where you're like, okay, I can see this is Ghanaian football. Like, you know, like I know what I'm seeing. And then on top of that, with the results, I feel like they have to be at least in the semifinals to kind of be like, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
That's my thing on that. Like, it's like if they make it to the semifinals, you know, I feel like that's a step in the right direction for them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like when you talk about Ghana, like you expect Ghana, Ivory Coast, Algeria, Egypt, you know, Senegal, like if you're Morocco, any of these teams, if you're participating in an AFCON, your nation expects you to win the whole thing. Like that's the standard that these teams have set. But at the same time, the competition is so fierce right now that, like, you know, especially with Senegal in the form they've been, and Morocco with their recent success, it's not going to be. It's actually ridiculous for them to demand.
Egypt only didn't make the World Cup, by the way, because they played Senegal, but they would have been. I think they would have been at the World Cup, and they probably would have made it past the group stages too.
Exactly, and Nigeria too. Don't forget, like the sleeping giants right now.
Yeah,
with talent
and
like
Ivory Coast as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know? So it's like, with that in mind, like a semifinal place is not bad. Like, even though we expect them to do, like, you know, the standard, even though the standards are high, like, given the competition, a semifinal position would be like a success already for Ghana.
Yeah. Ivory Coast is hosting the next AFCON as well, so I'm sure they'll be pushing the local support will be pushing their team on to go higher. We'll see. We'll see how far they can go, and we'll see how Chris Hughton decides to structure his team. Is he thinking about bringing on more second generation talent, or is he scouting the local leagues to see if there are any gems?
If anything, he's making it exciting right now. Like, all eyes are on Ghana right now, man.
Yeah.
Qualification games, everybody's gonna be watching.
It's definitely a power move, man. It's a big manager, and it's a big role too. I think the pressure is on him as well to achieve something with them, because he does have the talent. I think what I would like to see, ideally, so this is my hot take, is if they give him 5 years, so or when's the next World Cup? 2026. So if they give him until the AFCON after that World Cup, then he'll probably win that AFCON. That's my hot take.
Ooh. All right, you heard it here first, man. Like, hey, we're gonna save this, come back to it a couple of years, and then hopefully this is true, man. Like, I like that hot take, but 5 years, like you said, like they do need to give him some time to be able to bring this to life, and then trust in the process, essentially, because sometimes, like we saw with Aliou Cisse, like, it's not going to be good at the beginning sometimes, or it could be like Morocco, where it's like he hits the ground running and already semifinals of the World Cup in his first try. So these things, it could go any way, right? So patience is key, though, if you want to build long term.
Yes, sir. Dude, they have a really exciting young team. If they don't give them the time, then it's just going to be a rotation of just endless. I hope this manager will work out type thing.